I don't know what fight Joey Spencer was trying to fight with throwing one punch at a time, but Tszyu returns. He gets a fourth round knockout over Joey Spencer. Here, let me mute this so we can talk a little bit on TstreeT Controversy with Fight View 360. Was that round number 3 or 4? I'm sorry, I was laying on the couch watching this because I was thinking to myself, what is Joey Spencer trying to accomplish with the throwing one punch at a time? And then he just started standing right there in front of Tszyu and allowing Tszyu to tee off on him. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Well, I'm going to get my colleague Big J on the line. We're going to listen to the post-fight interviews, and we're going to talk about the fight. We're going to talk about the fight. So this is exactly the type of performance that Tszyu needed to get his confidence really back. Not saying that his confidence was lost, but after taking the brutal beating he took from Bakr and Murtazaliev and losing the way he did to Sebastian Fundora, it was good to see him go out there and not be timid and actually go out there and look like the Soul Taker is his alias that he goes by in the ring. And Joey Spencer, this is who Joey Spencer is now going forward. I'm never going to be able to really put any stock into him. I thought he was going to put on a better performance. And the thing is, he wouldn't let his hands go. And then I'm trying to figure out what happened to make him think it would be a wise idea to stand in there in front of Tszyu. And also, Tszyu was clearly noticeably bigger than Joey Spencer, in there. So the question now is going to be, well, where is Tszyu going to go? And are we going to get that Fundora rematch? I don't know if it's going to be Murtazaliev, but one of those he's got to run back. And Fundora, we don't really know what he's going to be doing next. Wait, he's got let me check out the rankings here. Let me pull it up. He's got a mandatory. Yeah, he's got Virgil Ortiz, Terrence Crawford. That ain't gonna be happening no time soon. Murtazaliev, we don't know what he's doing, and Terrence Crawford is a WBA champion. Once again, we don't know what he's doing, but it's WBA, so I don't expect for the WBA. Look, busted his face up. His face wasn't that busted up like a round ago. Like, what was he thinking? I'm disappointed in Joey Spencer. By the way, let's go look and see what's going on here. Disappointed in him. So now the question is, are they going to go and run that back with Fundora? By the way, it's 12:49 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. My goodness, I've been watching boxing all day. Janabek Ali Muhammad got a nice solid KO win. Felix Hergovitz edged Joe Joyce. Richard Torres, I'm going to be uploading that video soon. He didn't look, I'm just not a fan. Big solid day of boxing. We want to listen into is Tszyu having a baby? This is his wife. Let's listen into the particulars. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.
A red corner retirement. The victory method TKO in favor of your winner, blue corner. The return of the Soul Taker, Tszyu.
But does Bakr Murtazaliev have the soul of Tszyu?
Congratulations, Tszyu. You are back. What does it feel like to be a winner again? Have a look around at this venue. You're back home, in your spiritual home. Just tell us what this has been like.
Yeah, you know what? We took over the town. We named it after my last name. And we put on a show. So thank you, everyone, man. My respect to you guys. I'm blessed.
First win in 540 days,
a
it
lot
says.
Of fighters, they fight on different stages, but to have this type of stage, man, one hell of a ride. Thank you, guys.
It looks like there's a lot of relief around the place. What was the pressure like for you coming into this fight after everything you went through last year?
No, look, no pressure, man. I'm happy. Actually, yeah, there was a bit of pressure. 50-0, what else was there? Yeah, I couldn't do a third consecutive loss, but I hope I learn. I hope I teach people if they drop and they go on the floor, and when shit hits the fan, you can always get back up and rise to the top.
What was the hardest bit over the last year? What's been the toughest thing for you?
In all honesty, last night's weight cut. That was a hell of an experience. But in all honesty, it was the critics. The critics, they're always going to be there. But for me, it was proving it to myself, and I proved it to everyone in the world. I'm back, baby. I'm back.
So he had a tough weight cut.
Sum up this performance here. It was very measured at the start, and then it just felt like you turned up the heat.
Yeah, look, I learned from my mistakes. You don't go in like a hothead from the first round and just abandon everything. So learned my lesson.
Well, there you go.
And
I like hearing that.
I had one hell of an opponent with me, with Tszyu Spencer, so I'm blessed to share the ring with him.
Tszyu Spencer's face is fucked.
He's going to have plenty more opportunities in the future.
Who will you share the ring with next? Because we had Keith Thurman out in the country a little while ago. Do you have a message for him or someone else?
Sign the contract, big boy. Sign the contract.
Thurman's a small guy.
That's what you want to do?
Yeah, you know it, man. If the fans want it, and we can bring a mega show.
I'm surprised Thurman's not there.
The boys at No Limit, you know who to contact, and we'll do a big show here.
The Tszyu family now 13-0 here in Newcastle, 51-0 in Australia.
I hope this is not the last time. Hopefully this is not the last time I'm here, but if it is, it's been one hell of a show. It's been one hell of a journey from my father to myself and my brother, and hopefully when I have little kids, we can continue this thing on again.
Congratulations, that is the Soul Taker, Tszyu.
So, yeah. Nice solid win. Because, see, one thing me and Big J talked about is how Tszyu Spencer, 25 years old, young, he's not old, washed up. He, it's a good solid win for Tszyu. He didn't come back to beat up some old man or some journeyman or something. To go from Fundora to Murtazaliev to now to it's a nice, it's showing that he's not taking no bullshit fights. With that being said, I am TstreeT Controversy with Fight View 360. Look like it's going to be him and Thurman. Sorry. Excuse me. I believe the date that we're hearing is July the 6th. I have to go ahead and say, even though Thurman beat up Brock Jarvis, I don't like the Thurman's a small guy. Now he's listed at 5'9". I met Thurman numerous times, interviewed him, everything. He is not he's about 5'7". I'm telling you, he's a small guy. Now Tim's is about 5'9", and as you can see, how much bigger he looked in there against Tszyu Spencer. Just look at his frame. And Thurman, at his age, I don't know if he's going to have the skill set, to be able to keep him off of him, to be able to keep for Thurman to keep Tszyu off of him. There's concerns there. But however, Keith Thurman has a very high ring IQ, and clearly he's got that power. So, only time will tell. And also we have to hope that his body don't shut down because he's always injured, Let me see. He's always injured. But solid win for Tim. We're going to do a little bit of a jump cut, get my colleague Big J in here. We're going to move from there. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. All right, we got Big J on the line. What did you think about the fight and Tszyu's performance?
Well, I thought it was the statement that he needed. It was a good performance. I actually thought the ref stopped it prematurely until I actually saw it again on the replay, and
it was the corner.
Towel came in.
Yeah.
Yeah, the father threw the towel in, so I'm thinking, because I thought Joey was covering up pretty well. He didn't look that bad, but when you watch it 3 or 4 times, you realise, okay, like once the corner throws a towel in, that's pretty much
Yeah, because it was 3 different occasions where Tszyu would be opening up on him before the fight got stopped, and then the referee would be screaming, show me something, show me something. He would throw a punch and then go back to the ropes again, and then it was happening too much. Like he was right there, or very close to having a referee stop the fight anyway.
Exactly. So I think the father did the right thing by protecting the boxer. At the end of the day, you're better off stopping it 10 punches too early than 1 punch too late. Credit to his father for stopping the fight and protecting Joey, because he looked like a raccoon after, once you got that facial shot.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, because he started the 3rd round, with no bruising on his face, and then by the end of the fight, both eyes are black and swollen.
Exactly.
So he took a lot of damage in a short period of time.
That's right. Well, that's the boxing game. You take a lot of damage in a short period of time, and you can end up hurt. So you're better off getting.
But I just don't know what his game plan was, because to me, it seems as though he was fighting scared. He was throwing one shot at a time. He was making sure to stay off the ropes, for rightfully so, until he got stopped, or the referee or his father threw in the towel. But from what I was seeing, for one, none of the punches that he was throwing, the little ones that he was connecting with, they didn't seem to really do anything to Tszyu. And he was throwing some hard-looking body shots, but they didn't deter Tszyu in any type of way.
But people say, "Oh, Tim's back. What a performance!" Just calm down a little. Joey Spencer was a domestic-level fringe contender on the cusp of world-class boxing that has stood up to the level of competition twice and been belted twice.
Yeah.
So he's one of those fighters that, while on a domestic scene, he's good. Yeah, he might be the odd Mexican or the Canadian here and there, just given the equivalent to Australians who can easily beat an Indonesian or a New Zealander. But when they step up into international competition, they falter, and Joey Spencer's in that category.
And I completely agree. He's 25 years old, and if we were to rank the top 10 154 pounders, he's probably right there at number 10. What is it? Always the groomsman, never the groom.
Never the bride.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. He'll never.
I said in the preview for, I think, the first video we did about this, I put Joey Spencer in between the level of Carlos Acampo and Brian Mendoza, and that result is pretty much exactly the same, because Tim blasted Acampo out of there in 90 seconds, did a 12 hard rounds against Brian Mendoza, and got Spencer out of there in 4 rounds, which is about what he should have done. Yeah. Because Joey was on that level. He wasn't to the level of Brian Mendoza, but he certainly was above the level of the Carlos Acampo. So
yeah,
Tim did exactly what he needs to do.
And to Tim's credit, from what you said, is that he fought a young fighter in his prime. He didn't come back and take come back and fight some old journeyman. He came back and fought a young fighter in his prime.
Exactly, on the cusp of his prime, 25.
Well, at this point, when you take a beating like that, now, yes, he has lost to the top of the 154-pound division when it comes to Jesus Ramos and Tszyu, but for some, I'm not sure if Joey Spencer is going to get back up there. I'm not counting him out because he's still young. One thing I noticed is him and his father was having issues in the corner. So, it makes me wonder, like, okay, well, was he really, really prepared to take this seriously? Or, and I'm not making any excuses, the lights, him being on this big stage, Australia, main eventing on a pay-per-view, global boxing event, he just didn't seem ready. And I've seen Joey Spencer fight better. Like, to me, it looked like, he was intimidated by Tszyu.
Well, I think maybe he wasn't ready for the level that he was, because was this his first international fight?
Yes.
Yeah, well, there you go. It's his first international fight. He's fighting a former world champion who's known that when he's at his best, he destroys guys pretty easily. But having said that, once again, Joey Spencer has got a good 3 levels below what.
Yeah, I mean, at one point in time, like Joey Spencer was considered to be up there with one of the next big things at 160, 154 pounds. And remember, he started his career at 160. So he was supposed to be like the naturally bigger person in there, but Tszyu was bigger. I've even also seen, I was there at one of Joey Spencer's fights when he fought in Philly. You know, so I've seen, and another thing about Joey Spencer, as I've said in our last video, is he's been heavily televised here in the States. Nearly all of his fights are available online. PBC was putting a lot into him.
So, well, I mean, he'll probably drop off now. I mean, look at Brian Mendoza. He got beat by Boachuk and hasn't been heard from since. So
yeah, we're gonna see what Joey Spencer's gonna do, because right now, there was a lot of things I saw in that fight that makes me think that he's gonna be, he's not gonna get far, you know, unless he makes some significant changes.
Exactly, and for Tim, it's probably most likely, as he said. And I saw that he threw in the funny. Bob, what's that really big bodybuilding guy that was in the longest yard, the really big MMA fighter? What's his name? Bob something? When the Mike Tyson reference when he said, "Sign the contract, big boy." That was pretty
Bob
funny.
Sapp?
Bob Sapp, that's it. Bob Sapp. When Bob Sapp and Mike Tyson had a go at each other like 20 years ago. I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, I mean, Tszyu will most likely go on to the Thurman fight, because that's what No Limit.
Yeah, I was surprised Thurman wasn't there.
Oh, so was I. I was about to bring it up. I was like, why wasn't Thurman there? They could have got him in the ring. And
But Thurman's been known to do that. Like, he'll come out and then he'll just disappear. That's him. It's always been him.
Yeah. Well, obviously, and I think that's July 6th that they want that fight. I mean, Tim didn't suffer any injuries. Thurman had a pretty easy, 3-rounder against old mate.
Yeah, we can't gauge how Thurman's going to look off of that performance against Tszyu, because if you would have asked me right now, Keith Thurman, very good fighter, high IQ, but too much inactivity, and also, the barometer is Brock Jarvis. That's who we're going to measure. That's who we're going to measure his skill at 154. So as it stands right now, I'm going to pick Tszyu.
Well, obviously, because the other factor is that Keith Thurman's only fought one fight at 154, and he fought the absolute lowest guy at 154 before he could fight.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in the undercard, Carl Mazzutia had a pretty much a lopsided beatdown of Dan Hill. Carl Mazzutia would beat the living piss out of Brock Jarvis.
Yeah.
So the Brock Jarvis is the absolute lowest measuring stick for 154. So, yeah, I mean, Tim will most likely beat the living piss out of Thurman.
I think that Thurman will probably have a few good rounds moving, but he didn't have enough time in the ring to be able. I don't think that he's going to be able to keep Tszyu off of him. Now, I will say he probably will be very accurate against Tszyu, but we don't, as we talked about, we don't know how his powers. He beat up Brock Jarvis, and Brock Jarvis, we started his career at 118 pounds.
And has a bit of a weak chin.
Exactly.
You land one on Brock.
Yeah, he's going down.
He goes down pretty easily.
Yeah. So, closing thoughts?
Well, that's exactly as I said. Tim needed to make an emphatic statement, and he did. But then again, Joey Spencer, a low-level guy or lower level, good domestic fighter, but once he's on the international scene, he kind of crumbles. Thurman will be the big money fight. I mean, Thurman's no measuring stick at 154. If Tim beats Thurman, which he should, that's not going to get him ready for the elite competition at 154. So hopefully he does Thurman, gets the money, and then goes after Fundora rematch before Fundora starts sharpening his tools, because Fundora's only had one fight against some low-level guys, so Tim needs to get after him.
Yeah, here's the thing with Fundora, though. The WBC is going to get close to ordering him versus Virgil Ortiz. Terrence Crawford, the interim champion. Well, Terrence Crawford, he's supposed to be fighting Canelo, but he said that when the loss against Canelo, he'll be coming back down, but that won't be until at least the beginning of next year. So Fundora, he has two ways he can go. He can, we don't know what Murtazaliev and his team, they've been quiet. We don't know what's going on there, but he can go that route, unification with Murtazaliev, or a bigger money fight against Virgil Ortiz, who's the WBC interim and the mandatory. So it's going to be really interesting to see what Fundora is going to do. But my question is, what path do you think that Tszyu is likely going to take?
Well, definitely the Thurman fight because that's
I'm talking about if in a perfect world he beats Thurman, because the Fundora fight might not be available.
I think in all honesty, if he gets offered the Fundora fight now, he should take it. Bugger Thurman.
Yeah.
He gets okay, that's good for his bank account, but is it good for? It's not good for his career. So, I mean, beating up a 36-year-old blown up super lightweight. I mean, come on, Tim. Don't worry about Thurman. Go after the Fundora rematch before it's no longer available to him.
Yeah.
Because you're right. The WBC, even though they fuck around far too much these days, they probably will. And Virgil Ortiz wants his shot.
Yes, he does want his shot. And WBC, being the Mexican organization, put it this way, they pick and choose who they'll order fights for. But when it comes to Virgil Ortiz, they love him. They're going to order that fight.
Yeah, exactly. And Virgil Ortiz will most likely kick the piss out of Fundora if he doesn't use his jab range.
Yeah.
But I think it would be a good fight. But Tim, I think if the Fundora fight is available, forget Thurman, go after the belts. Because once he's got those 2 belts back, the money fights will come.
And wild card is he goes after Eunice Tszyu. He's the WBA interim champion. That's if Terrence Crawford gets made the WBA champion in recess. Then he'll fight Tszyu for the full title if they want to go the easiest route. And let me tell you something. This Tszyu guy, watched him a couple of weeks ago. I've seen about 3-4 fights of his. He's not. I can see Tim beating him. So wild card. If he doesn't get Fundora, Virgil Ortiz, or Murtazaliev, wild card Tszyu, because I don't see him fighting. I see after Thurman, they're going to try to go for a title shot. I don't see him fighting. I don't see him fighting a Bahachuk or a Madrimov or any of those guys unless it's going to be a title shot. Oh, and also another thing, the WBO is going to order Fundora to fight Xander Zayas as well. So both of Fundora's mandatories are right there knocking at the door.
I forgot about old Xander Zayas.
Yeah, in fact, they've already ordered that fight, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I think you are. I think they did.
They did. They ordered it already.
Well, Tim's out in the lurch then, and he needs to fight Thurman and find another path because, going after Madrimov, he'll just get not Madrimov, Murtazaliev, he'll probably just get belted.
Yeah. I think that they're going to try to force Fundora versus Murtazaliev. But Murtazaliev team, as we talked about in the nearly defunct main event promotions, that's not the main event Australia broadcaster, but the main event of promotional company led by Kathy Duva over here in the States, they're hard for cash. So I can see them, they're going to try to go after the biggest money fight. And Tim Tszyu, I just don't think that he's ready for that yet. But all right, closing thoughts one more time. And what did you think about the undercard?
Undercard was good, solid undercard. Kalmazidi got a knockout win against Dan Hill. That Venezuelan guy that belted Matteo Tapia and Isaac Hardman got his win against the Danish bloke. The heavyweights, old mate got his revenge on the fella the year before. I've forgotten all these guys' names. Solid event. Another B+ card from No Limit. And next one.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see.
I think Leon.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see Cooper O'Connell's fight because it wasn't televised here.
That wasn't televised.
Okay, got you. All right, got you.
He won.
Yeah, it says he's got a second round TKO stoppage. All right, with that being said, what's the next Australian boxing event? What's the next one?
I think there's one in May. I'm not quite sure who's headlining it for No Limit, but there's definitely the one in Cairns, June 11. And I believe Liam Paro's on that. Oh, no, Sam Goodman's coming back in May. I think Sam Goodman's on that May one. Okay. All right, that's worth a watch. All right, with that being said, it is 1:21 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, late card over here in the States for us. But solid win for Tim Tszyu. I'm actually, that was the type of win, I think that he needed, not only for, his confidence, but also, to really, get a statement to be all right, to create some buzz, something that George Kambosos wasn't able to do. We will be here with a long-form Australian boxing podcast coming soon. Just hang in there, doing some revamping. And you can follow me on Twitter at TstreeT Controversy and Big J at Old Mate Big J. The links are down below in the description box.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.